The audience raped me in 1993. Since then, I've had a rather complicated relationship with the audience. I wasn't wearing this. I had on orange pants and a baggy shirt and bare feet. He approached me after the show and read my movement. I was so naive. He was old enough to be my father. He had a big pot belly and a big smile. He said he was a psychic healer, a psychic massage healer. A week later, he came over, and I spent 4 hours saying no, and the police told me that I consented when I surrendered. It could have been worse. Like my friend Jane, who got beat up 3 times by 3 different rapists. Once in an elevator, once in a parking lot, and I can't remember the other location. Could have been worse. Like my friend Jane from high school, who got too drunk and passed out while 4 boys waited in line to have their way with her. We knew them. She wouldn't let me tell. She wouldn't let me tell. I wish I was there, goddammit. I fucking wish I was there. It could have been worse.
Fucked up just like a piñata on the floor and feeling nada. Vivo hasta ensenada. Es la forma que me tratan. Newspapers, drink and rub candy. Sheets of multicolored fancy paste. I'm wasting while you're aiming everything you have against me. Over your eyes a bandana, blinding all of you from Ghana. Set me free, quiero estar sana hasta que me lleguen ganas. Knowing that soon you'd all break me into pieces for your tiki. My insides feel rough and hollow, and now I'm just full of sorrow. Take your piece, I'm breaking like a piñata. Take your piece, I'm breaking like a piñata. In
she's married. Nancy, this was my movie. I was very happy. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where that's the nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved her like a bitch. I couldn't get there, and she was married. And all of a sudden, I see she's got like a big phone and everything. She's totally changed her house.
She's the real shit.
Whoa!
Yes!
Whoa!
Yes! Let's go! Oh, my man! Wait, you gotta look at her. You gotta look at her. You gotta get this nonsense. Yeah, let me.
Maybe it's a different. Yeah, that's it. We go. Hey, this is just against sister, against sister. Yeah, just like this. And there's not really like do it. You can do it. Grab a little and listen. Grab a little and listen. Grab a little and listen.
It's like a sister.
Come on. So you don't fall out of the bus. Like 4 in jail for it. How are you? Hi.
How are you?
Terrific.
Nice to meet you. How are you?
You know Billy Bush?
How are you?
Nice to see you. How you doing?
Doing very well, thank you. Are you ready to be a soap star? Doing very well,
Let's
thank you.
go. Make me a substitute.
Where are you going? So I think you have got it.
Absolutely.
Well, I need to set this voice. Yeah, it's not. There we go. Excellent. Well, you got a nice costume.
Yes.
Come on,
Yes. I'm sorry, come here.
little guy.
I'm sorry, come here. Are you fine? Sorry. I should have.
Sorry to walk next to you. Yeah, you get it. There we go.
That's
This is
better.
much better. This is
That's better.
much better.
If you had to choose, between one of us, maybe or not.
I don't know, that's tough competition.
Seriously, you had to take one as a kid.
Same on that one.
Really?
Yep. I'll take it.
Which way?
Make right. Here we go.
Here we go. I'm gonna leave you here.
Okay. Okay. You're finished.
Oh, you want to reset?
Grandpa, bitch.
Shit.
Pussy. Whoa, whoa. Grandpa, bitch.
Shit.
Pussy. Whoa, whoa. She's married. Nancy, this was my movie. I was very happy. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where that's the nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved her like a bitch. I couldn't get there, and she was married. And all of a sudden, I see she's now got the big phone and everything. She's totally changed her house.
She's the real shit.
Whoa!
Yes!
Whoa!
Yes! Let's go! Oh, my man! Wait, you gotta look at her. You gotta look at her.
You are.
You gotta get this nonsense. Yeah, let me.
Maybe it's a different. Yeah, that's it. We go. Hey, this is just against sister, against sister. You know, just like this. And there's not really like do it. You can do anything. Grab a little and listen. Grab a little and listen. Grab a little and listen.
It's like a sister.
No,
Come on.
So you don't fall out of the bus. Like 4 in jail for it.
How are you?
Nice to see you. How you doing, Ariel?
Doing very well, thank you. Are you ready to be a soap star? Doing very well.
Let's go. Make me a substar. Absolutely.
Lining this up as pussy. There we go. Excellent. Well, you got a nice costume.
Yes. I'm sorry, come here.
Little guy.
I'm sorry, come here. How you feeling? Sorry. I should have.
It's hard to walk next to you. I think that's. Yeah, you get the. Yeah, we got it.
That's
This is
better.
much better. This is
That's better.
much better.
If you had to choose, maybe not.
I don't know, that's tough competition.
Seriously, you had to take it just as a kid.
Take this coming out of him.
Really?
Yep. I'll take it.
Which way?
Make right. Here we go.
Here we go. I'm gonna leave you here.
Okay. Okay. You're finished.
Oh, you want to reset?
Grandpa, bitch. Shit. Pussy. Whoa, whoa. Grandpa, bitch. Shit. Pussy. Whoa, whoa.
Let's imagine the audience is naked. You think they feel more confident because we're naked? They might feel threatened if we get closer. I'm not sure. I feel more confident because you're naked. I feel more supported because I'm not alone. But what are we supporting? What do you think? Are we supporting the age-old patriarchal notion that people pay to see naked female bodies on stage? Or are we just showing the stripped down vulnerability of nakedness? The release of shame. Do you think they can hear us? I'm thinking of the lecture that Carolee Schneemann did in London in '68. It was an arts history lecture, and she took off her clothes, like most female bodies in Western European art. And suddenly, no one could hear what she was saying. It was a riot. Does a naked body have a voice? What are we exposing? Our private parts? Our privacy? Our genitalia, our skin, our bruises, our scars, our beauty? Right now, we're exposing our thoughts. Remember when we used to do this in the curtains? Yeah, I was trying to reveal something about all the violations that happened behind the scenes in Hollywood or after the show or in the White House or in the privacy of our own homes, behind closed doors, behind the wings, in the dressing rooms. After the show. That fucking handshake. Oh my God, that handshake. Fucking violent, that power over structure in the handshake. The contracts, the lies. The women in his life may be making money, but they have still no real power. They're always subservient. Do you think they have a voice? As much as you and I do, I suppose. Whose voice are you speaking with?
Ivana Trump testified in a sworn deposition during their divorce proceedings that Trump was angry with her for recommending a plastic surgeon he believed had ruined him with a painful scalp reduction surgery to remove a bald spot. Ivana testified that Trump held back her arms and pulled out fistfuls of her hair from her scalp before forcibly penetrating her. Trump denies that the attack or the surgery ever happened. Trump and his lawyers got a statement from Ivana saying she felt violated by the events of that night, but that she didn't mean that she'd been raped in a literal or criminal sense, even though what she described in her deposition amounted to rape as a legal matter. Ivana, I think I know. I know about silence. It started with taking away my voice. I became dull and lightless and antisocial. I made excuses. I lost my friends. I became isolated. No one knew. So even if I had had a voice and the courage to speak, there would have been no one listening. I knew since I was a child that people don't want to hear this stuff. So I built my own strategies. In the silence, I planned my escape. The police came with lights and sirens. He let go of my throat. Maybe I had screamed for help. Maybe people had seen from the windows overlooking the railway bridge. The police came out of their car. He said we were just arguing. I said nothing. They asked if I was all right. I said nothing. They asked us to make up. They would have taken him away if I said something. I could have slept in peace that night, or at least until they let him go. How could I risk his anger if I said something? They produced a sunflower from somewhere and told him to give it to me. They drove away. It was always strangers who intervened. The women who came after the concert when I was lying on the street, him on top of me still, his fist in my face. Do you have a place to go? Promise you won't go back. I promised, but I had no other place to go. I was paying the rent anyway. Why? Why didn't you leave? But I did, many times. Where could I go? I took a train to another city, hid in my friend's apartment, turned off my phone. 97 missed calls per hour, my message inbox full of words of love, insults, threats. I caused all this. Whore. Even after reading them, friends wanted to help us make it work. I was 500 miles away. He showed up at my door in the middle of the night. So romantic, they said. He could kill me, I thought. Yo soy ella, quien perdona y olvida. I am she who forgives and forgets. They took everything. There is nothing left. I am dead. But I will come back. Wait for it. I have to remember. I've been so many things. I've changed so many times. Before the Spaniards came, Los Aztecas made me into a clay pot filled with prayers, ofrendas to Huitzilopochtli, the sun god. Then I was a hummingbird on the left. They believed that the souls of dead warriors turned into La Chuparosa. But those Spaniards took over and they had a different idea. They turned me into 7 deadly sins. Wrath, greed, envy, lust, sloth, pride, and gluttony. Then they'd smash me open and scramble to the ground, fighting for the dulces they picked out on. It made no sense. I remember now. I remember everything. I liked it better on my birthday. Remember the burro and the caballito? La mariposa and all the animals? I remember all the stars, las estrellas and todos los colores. I remember El Mickey Mouse, the Little Mermaid, Exploradora, SpongeBob, Pokemon, ¿qué más? It's all coming back to me now. What? I didn't know it was my birthday. Wow. Really? It's my birthday? I have to get ready. There's una piñata que perdona y olvida.
now welcome our first contestant, Miss Venezuela, Andreina Maldonado. Andreina belongs to the land of Venezuela. She's at the ripe age of 29 years old. Her measurements are 86 centimeters, 62 centimeters, 90 centimeters, and her height is 1.57 meters. Andreina is a Pisces with exceptional daydreaming abilities that allows her to weave through this reality and other alternative worlds. Next, Miss Finland, Ronja Bear. Ronja was born in Finland and grew up in Finland, Nigeria, and Scotland. Their attention span ranges from 6 hours to 4 minutes, and their head is small enough to fit through a dog choke collar. They have an extraordinary ability to rebound from any fall and perform normal as well as dance with broken bones. Okay, Miss Norway, Kristen Rulifson from the gold country of California. Her forearm hair is an even 2 centimeters in length and a jaw that can exert a force of 150 pounds per square inch. This young lady gets the most out of her trauma. She specializes in using her high cortisol levels and numbing capacity to make art out of high-risk behavior. Miss Armenian and Italian blend, Dominique Nigro, raised in Apple Valley, California. This desert flower specializes in bending over backwards, both literally and figuratively. With boundless energy, there's little she won't do for you, unless you are undeserving. Miss Senegalese American, Ishikar Kirbion. Ishikar is from Manhattan, New York. The length of her hair is 0 centimeters. She's lost 5 pounds this week in preparation for the show. She specializes in hypervigilance, allowing herself to protect herself from sexual predators and people that want to fetishize her. Yes, finally, we have Miss Mexican, French, Spanish, Czech, Irish, Canadian, American blend, Liz Duran Boubion. Liz was the 7th born child who grew up in the suburbs of Southern California. Her bra size is AA, 36, and her left leg is half an inch longer than her right leg. Due to some traumatic experiences, Miss Boubion's unique thinking style allows her to multiply into several pieces, bilocate, and exist in several places at once. Really, I think I wanted to do this since I was 10 years old. This portion is the beautiful brains portion. Questions? Contestant number 1, Dominique Nigro. Dominique, if you win the crown for Miss Universe, how will you create world peace?
Well, Scott, we are the world.
We are the world.
We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice you're making.
There's a choice we're making.
We're saving our own lives. It's true. Make a brighter day. Just as you and me.
Wow, thank you. I didn't know it was possible, but I feel even better now. Contestant number 2, Kristen Rulison. Okay. Kristen, what did you eat for breakfast and why?
This morning, I ate day-old bread from Phil's Coffee. Now, Scott, I know what you're thinking. And this is not the healthiest choice. And like most people in Berkeley, I likely have a gluten allergy. However, I feel that this is a very free, practical, and quick choice. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Contestant number 3, Ishikar Kirbion. Let's try this one again. Ishikar, what did you eat for breakfast and why?
This morning I ate white feminism for breakfast. I'm still hungry. White feminism is a vapid-ass concept that leaves out race, gender, and sexuality. The truth is, if you're white, femme, and rich, you're more likely to win this contest. And anyway, whiteness is to blame for most fatal insecurities, including body dysmorphic disorder, eating disorders, and death underneath the scalpel.
Take a moment to think about that. Number 4, Andreina Maldonado. Yeah. Andreina, do you think that Miss Universe should be required to speak English?
Gracias, Oscar. Buenas noches a todos. En mi opinión, la Miss Venezuela no tiene que hablar inglés. Para eso tenemos a intérpretes que nos pueden ayudar a entender en nuestro propio idioma. Entonces, Oscar, no creo que la Miss Universo tenga que hablar inglés. Gracias.
Contestant number 5, Liz Duran Boubion. Liz, as a white passing Latinx choreographer, what do you think your role is in the community? Nothing says it better than modern dance. And now for our final contestant, Ronja there. Ronja, a lot of women have issues with their body image. If there was something you could change about your appearance, what would it be?
Well, Scott, when I had a girl child, I realized I don't want to pass any of that shit on to her. And I had no time to go to therapy, so I just had to snap out of it. And you know what? I love everything about my body. Look at this. These wrinkles get deeper every time I smile or laugh. So each happiness in my life is right here on my face. Can you see this? It's like it's the softest part in the body. If you ever get a chance to snuggle with maybe like an 80-year-old and just cuddle in their underarms flesh, it's the sweetest thing. And I need to show you this because my belly, it was like this big. I couldn't see my feet, and there was a whole person in there, and the skin just stretched like all the way up there, and then it went right back. But you can still see like there's just a lot of the skin, so it's kind of cool. You can. Like if you go lower down here. Here's a scar. That's a C-section scar. You know what they call that? They call that a failed home birth. You know what I say? Sometimes a successful home birth can be a C-section. I'm alive, baby's alive. Yay. All good. Exit my body. How much liquid needs to exit my body? They don't decide how much pee needs to come out. My brain says, oh, I need to pee, and the rest goes in my bloodstream. It's awesome.
In one study, subjects were placed in a crooked chair in a crooked room and then asked to align themselves vertically. Some perceived themselves as straight only in relation to their surroundings. Some were tilted by as much as 35 degrees and report that they were perfectly straight, simply because they were aligned with images that were equally tilted. When we confront race and gender stereotypes, Black women are standing in a crooked room and they have to figure out which way is up. Bombarded with warped images of their humanity, some Black women have to tilt and bend themselves to fit the distortion.
Hello, Ronnie. Sit down. Show me a white doll. Now show me a colored doll. Show me the doll that you like best. And which doll is most like you?
at.min.
All right, Anne. Show me a white doll. Show me a colored doll. Show me the doll that has a nice color. Show me the doll that looks ugly.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Zinzi who thought she had steel wool for hair, a bridge for a nose, and 2 boats for lips.
One morning at school, a girl looked at Zinzi and said, "Look at Zinzi's hair. It's as rough as steel wool." Ha 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 ha. Zinzi was confused. She had never had an issue with her coiled tresses and puffs her mama did for her every day. It was one of her favorite times with her mama. But her classmates' laughter was sharp and persuasive. "My hair is just fine the way it is," Zinzi said, spinning around and marching away. On her way home, she stopped to look at her reflection in a storefront window. "Steel wool?" she said, running her fingers through her braided hair. Her hair suddenly felt cold and scratchy. Her fingers got caught and her head felt like 10 tons of wire. She could barely hold it up as she made her way home. The next day at school, another kid pointed at Zinzi. "Look at Zinzi's nose. It's as wide as a bridge." Ha 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 ha. Zinzi touched her nose. Her mama and papa kissed so many times. The nose they playfully stole between their loving fingers. "As wide as a bridge?" she said, thinking about her classmates' thin and pointy noses. When she looked at her reflection, she imagined her nose as wide as the Brooklyn Bridge, stretching across her entire face, growing bigger and bigger. It felt broad and massive, weighing her so far back she couldn't even see. The next day at school, another kid teased, "Look at Zinzi's lips. They're as big as boats." Ha 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 ha. She thought to say, "My lips are just fine the way they are." But when she attempted to speak, waves of water rose up into her eyes. Her chin quivered, and she bit her lips closed so she wouldn't start to cry. The water doused her words and muted her voice. When Zinzi got home, she bolted into her mother's arms. Zinzi sobbed uncontrollably. "What is wrong, my sweet baby? What is wrong?" her mother asked, rocking her back and forth, holding her close as can be. "Look at my hair. It's as rough as steel wool. Look at my nose. It's as wide as a bridge. Look at my lips. They're as big as boats." Zinzi's mother looked at her surprised and saddened by her daughter's comments about her beautiful face. Her face looked a lot like her own at that age. Zinzi's mother gave her a big, long hug, and then turned her towards the mirror. You see your hair, Zinzi? It is as strong as steel wool. It is resilient and unrelenting. It does not give under pressure. Your ancestors had hair like this to keep their heads cool as the sun beamed down on them. Hold your head high. This is your crown. You see your nose, Zinzi? It is as beautiful and crafty as a wide bridge. Bridges connect worlds, Zinzi. They cross over water, reach over valleys, they hover over danger, and they hold people up. Your ancestors traveled far and wide to learn the things we know now. Be proud of your nose. It is evidence that you are part of a long lineage of people. Their beauty and intuition is your beauty and intuition. You see your lips, Zinzi? They are as graceful and lovely as boats on the sea. Boats rock to and fro. They are allies of the wind, present and forthcoming. They are in direct relationship with the tides. Your ancestors understood the importance of speaking truths that were anchored and buoyant, despite the fear of the unrelenting sea of life. Their songs carried them out of silence. With each word, Zinzi felt lighter and more beautiful, her face turning into a new and ancient map. As her mother spoke history into her daughter's features, her own face took on the same form. Zinzi and her mother stood amazed at how the mirror had once felt so cool, but now was their ally in understanding just how magnificent, complicated, and rich their faces truly were.
Venezuela, Caracas, where two contestants participated, Oli Clemente and Yolanda Leal. Oli was from the upper class, and Yolanda was from the lower class. Yolanda ended up winning because everyone cheered the loudest for her and chose her as their queen. Miss Venezuela became the voice of the poor people. Yo soy democracia. ¡Viva Venezuela, carajo! ¡Viva la reina de los pobres! ¡Viva la belleza! That was a victorious moment for my country, but unfortunately things got a lot worse. Empty shelves at the grocery store, drug cartel, crime, corruption, rape, kidnap, robberies. We had to make sure we were home before dark every day. One time, my sister, my mother, and I were walking home from a music lesson when a young man One of my happiest memories as a young girl was watching the Miss Venezuela with my family. We would sit around the TV, eating arepas and feeling the warm breeze of sunset and the crickets off to the distance. It was a safe place. Every young girl wishes to become Miss Venezuela at least once in her life. The preoccupation with physical beauty was both an escape and a distraction from the threat of violence we had to deal with every day. I would have loved to become Miss Venezuela, but I wouldn't have made it far because I'm too short. I probably would have had to get surgery on my ears. I probably would have had to get surgery on my breasts, like most of the contestants. I would have had to endure sexual harassment on a daily basis because in order to get all of the surgeries that I need, I either have to have a lot of money or find a sponsor to pay for them. And the risk of surgery is also high. Due to malpractice and poor medical conditions, women and teens are at high risk of toxicity, scarification, blindness, and even death while on the operating table. That could have been me. En una noche tan linda como esta, cualquiera de nosotras podría triunfar, ser coronada.